Alright guys, so let's look at two more examples for interval and set bill notation. Alright, so we're given example 1. And example 1, we start off at 2 and then go all the way up to 4 and we're shading in the middle. Well, the first thing we do is represent this in terms of an inequality. Well, before we do that, let's analyze the endpoints. 2 and 4 both have closed circles, therefore these are both included. And in inequality form, we're simply saying that our x variable is in between 2 and 4, given that x is greater than or equal to 2, but less than or equal to 4. So for set builder notation, we start off with the set of all x's such that, and then you simply copy your inequality. So set of all x's such that x is between 2 and 4 inclusive. Okay, interval notation. Well, let's ask ourselves, where do we begin? We start off at 2, right? We start off at 2 and then we go all the way up to 4. So 2, comma, oh, that looks horrible. 2, comma, 4. Well, 2 is included, so it gets a bracket, and so is 4. Therefore, this also gets a bracket around it. All right, example 2 is a little bit harder. For example 2, I'm going to analyze it by looking at both endpoints individually. So I have this blue endpoint, and I have this, let's use green. I have this green endpoint. For the green endpoint, if you look at 0, this is included. So let's write that down. And if you look at the blue endpoint, negative 5 is not included. Why? Because there's an open circle at negative 5. Okay, first thing first, let's represent this in terms of an inequality. For the first part, we simply have x is less than negative 5. And for the second part, we simply have x is greater than or equal to 0. Now, what goes in between? Well, an OR goes in between. Why does an OR go in between? Because this is saying that any number smaller than negative 5 or a number greater than or equal to 0 will satisfy our graph on top. So we simply put an OR in the middle. Alright, in set builder notation, we start off with the set of all x's such that, and you just simply copy your inequality. The set of all x's such that x is less than negative 5. Now, how do you say OR in set builder notation? We'll use the V as we had up there before. So we circle it, V. So OR x is greater than or equal to 0. And you close your set. Our interval notation is a little bit trickier. Well, for the first piece, x is less than negative 5. This is saying that that we come from negative infinity, and then we go all the way up to negative 5. And infinities are never included, therefore this will get a parentheses around it. And the negative 5 is not included as well, therefore this will also get a parentheses around it. And how do we represent OR in interval notation? Well, we simply use union. So we use union to represent OR. So OR, the last part, we start off at 0, and then we go up to positive infinity. So 0, comma, plus infinity. Again, infinities are never included, therefore we get a parentheses around this, and the 0 is included, therefore it closes off with a bracket. And that's it.